New on SportsCenter, Travis Kelce addressing his future on the New Heights podcast.
I know everybody wants to know whether or not I'm playing next year, and right now I'm just kicking everything down the road. I'm kicking every can I can down the road, and I'm not making any crazy decisions. As you see yourself or not feel yourself have the success that you once used to have, man, it's a tough pill to swallow. And then on top of that, to not be there in the biggest moments, knowing your team's counting on you, man. Those are all extremely hard things to. It's just a tough reality.
And the reality for Kelce as well is production way down, career lows in receiving yards and touchdowns. That despite 134 targets, most on the team, and 16th most in the NFL. Kelce averaged 8.5 yards per catch this year, the first time in his career he's been held under 10.
All right, let's welcome back Jeff Saturday and Mike Tannenbaum. So we just heard from Travis Kelce, no decision yet. Jeff, what is your reaction to his comments?
It's tough, man. Listen, I played 14 years in this league and had a career better than I deserved, and I'm sure he's feeling the exact same way, man. He is an incredible football player. What a fun breath of fresh air he is in the media, in his locker room. I mean, it seems like everybody loves to be around him. He plays hard. He's super successful. So anytime you're debating whether you want to come back or not, it's just a tough pill to swallow. But I agree. I think take your time, let it kind of develop, see what you end up deciding. No reason to rush it. You got all offseason. The Chiefs will gladly welcome you back. But the role change is different. And when you can't be the type of player that you once were, it's one of those things. For me, when I knew I couldn't be that, it was time for me to go.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He's an all-time great, first ballot Hall of Famer, Christine, but it's time. And when you start talking about it publicly like that, you know, the old expression, if you're talking about retiring, you are retired. He's not the same player. He's skill diminished. He can't separate the way he once did. And again, taking nothing away from an incredible career, he's just clearly not the same player. And it's probably the appropriate time to go off into the sunset, which will be an incredible second career, whatever he decides to do. But when you watch him play, it's time to move on. It's just not the same player he once was.
I thought Mike T was going to tell us what his second career was going to be. Waiting for that. Guys, let's play a game of free agency. Jeff, we're going to give you your top 3 free agents, and Mike is going to tell us their best fit. Jeff, who do you have as the number 3 top free agent?
Well, let's say it this way. Most interesting. Top is going to be offensive, defensive line, but that didn't sell, Christine. So we're going to go most interesting. And we'll start with Khalil Mack out there in Charger land and what he wants to do. Now, everybody's talking about Myles Garrett and possibly hooking him up with the Detroit Lions. If the Cleveland Browns won't let that go, how about that he goes to Detroit as well? To me, they're one of the teams that really are a player away. And I line him up opposite Aiden Hutchinson. I think gives him a lot of finish and a lot of production on that edge. Again, he's the type of player who can finish games. That's what you're looking for if you're in Detroit.
Christine, I totally agree. It's Detroit. Look, Aiden Hutchinson's coming back off of injury. They have Zadarius Smith, but they need at least 1 or 2 more pass rushers. When you think about, hey, we got to beat Philly. Hey, we got to beat San Francisco, Green Bay, Minnesota. So if I'm Detroit, I got to be able to rush the passer. Khalil Mack, despite his age, can still do that. I think it's an ideal fit. I do think Detroit has to be, hey, we're one player away mentality because their window is right now to get to the Super Bowl.
Khalil Mack, by the way, 33 years old, and Chargers fans are mad at that because they are begging for the return of the Mack. All right, Jeff, who is your second best free agent?
I'm going to go Sam Darnold here. And listen, I know all the dominoes are going to fall once Sam decides whatever he's going to do or what the Vikings honestly decide to do with him. And it's an interesting one for me because as well as he played, do you trust what you were going to do in the draft with J.J. McCarthy, who was supposed to be the starter, or do you live on what Sam just did this past season? O'Connell is one of the best play callers in our game. He seems to do this with everybody. And so do you trust that second-year player in McCarthy, who basically will be a rookie, or do you pay Sam? He's gonna ask for a king's ransom, and it's just, do you want that to happen at another organization?
For me, Christine, he needs to stay right in Minnesota. Look, the last 2 games are well documented. It didn't end well, but this was somebody that had an incredible season with Kevin O'Connell. And to me, if the worst thing we're talking about is overpaying the quarterback position and having fantastic depth with Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy, that's a great problem to have. Maybe somebody offers you a trade for J.J. McCarthy you can't turn down. Ideally, if you're Minnesota, though, you don't have to franchise Sam Darnold, and you come up with a reasonable compromise. But I'm about a win-win, and to me, both sides would want to get this deal done.
Yeah, and very surprisingly good season for Sam Darnold there in Minnesota. Finally, Jeff, best free agent out there. Who you got?
T. Higgins. And listen, I've heard him say he would take less to stay in Cincy. I don't know if that's just, the love of his teammates speaking, and he's like, when it gets down to dollars, he'll realize, wait a minute, I can crush this market. But any team in this market, he makes any team better. And you could take him to Dallas, you could take him a number of different places, to the Chargers. What he would allow teams to do with him, big body receiver, competitive receiver, all those things, he's going to demand the most on that free agent market. I don't see taking less to stay, but maybe he does and makes Cincy's offense even better than it was last year.
Jeff, how about the New England Patriots? They have a young star in Drake May from, I believe it's North Carolina. Is that correct? And
yes,
you look
sir.
at what they've tried to do at the receiver position. Yeah, Jalen Polk, Kendrick Bourne, Pop Douglas. They've had a number of complimentary receivers. Go get Drake May, a bona fide #1 difference maker, somebody that can win outside. That's the quickest way for Drake May to try to close the gap from New England's perspective on Buffalo and Josh Allen. So I know that's a little bit out of the ordinary for what New England's done in the past. They got a new regime. I would be aggressive and go get T. Higgins and send a message that we have the right quarterback and we're going to do everything we can to help him.
Wherever he ends up, he tweeted yesterday, I'll let y'all know first. So we'll see what exactly that means. Guys, thank you very much.